Assalamu alaikum. Today on Noron Academy, we're talking about the integrity of our unseen choices. If you benefit from this, please support the channel by subscribing and sharing as a sadaqah, an ongoing charity.
In our lives, we're constantly making choices, right? Some of them are out in the open for everyone to see. Those are the choices that build our reputation among people. But then there's this other category of choices, a much deeper one. And these are the ones that actually shape our hereafter, our akhirah.
And here's the thing, this is what's so crucial. The choices that matter for eternity, they almost always happen in private. They're made in those quiet moments when nobody's watching. There's no applause, no one to impress. The only witness is Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala.
We tend to think of our lives in these big chunks, don't we? In years, decades, major milestones. But in the divine measure of things, a life isn't just a span of time. It's measured by a series of critical, defining moments. These are the flashpoints of our faith, where our real character truly shows itself. Just think about it for a second. That split-second moment where a small lie could have made your life easier, maybe saved you from some embarrassment or got you a little something extra, but you didn't. You chose the harder path, the path of truth, and you did it only for His sake.
Or what about that moment where you could have easily taken something that wasn't yours? Maybe it was a little extra change given by mistake, or taking credit for someone else's idea. But instead, you resisted. You chose honesty, and you returned what wasn't yours. And maybe the toughest one of all, those moments where you could have just walked away. Walked away from a tough responsibility, a difficult person, a promise you made. Nobody would have blamed you. But you stayed. You saw it through. And you have to realize these specific moments, these unique tests, they don't come around again. Each one is a one-time opportunity. And with every choice you make in those moments, you are literally forging who you are. Not for other people, but in the sight of your Creator. These choices are the very building blocks of your soul.
So this brings us to a fundamental spiritual truth. On one side, you have the option to gain something by disobeying Allah. But that gain is just an illusion. It always leads to a much bigger loss down the line, even if you can't see it. But on the other side, anything you choose to lose for the sake of Allah, well, that's never really lost at all. It's an investment with a guaranteed eternal return.
There's a simple story that illustrates this perfectly. A man was offered a deal, a shortcut. It came with more money, and this is key, absolutely zero risk of getting caught. But he said no. And his reason for refusing wasn't because he was just so strong and disciplined. It was simpler than that. He just remembered that Allah was watching. Now, in the short term, nothing happened. But years later, the legacy of that one private choice was this incredible barakah, this divine blessing that brought dignity to his entire family and a deep, unshakable peace into his own heart.
You see, every one of these hidden acts of faithfulness is like dropping a stone in a pond. It creates ripples. These aren't just small, isolated choices. Their effects spread out in ways we can't even begin to imagine. They can end up helping people you will never even meet. They act like a shield, protecting you from dangers you'll never even know were there. And maybe most important of all, the rewards for these choices, they are waiting for you on the day you will need them most.
And on all of this, it really changes how we should think about legacy, doesn't it? We tend to think legacy is about the big public wins, the things that get your name known. But a true legacy, the one that actually matters in the akhirah, is built piece by piece, choice by choice, through consistent, private faithfulness. So, the question really comes back to us now. You have to ask yourself, and be really honest, what is the choice I keep making when I am completely alone? When no one is watching, what is my default? Because that choice, the one you repeat over and over again in private, that is the truest reflection of where you're headed. That unseen habit is slowly, quietly defining your ultimate success or your ultimate failure. Imagine for a moment, it's the day of judgment, and every single secret is laid bare. If your entire record of private, unseen choices was suddenly revealed for everyone to see, would that record be your defense? Would it protect you? Or would it expose you? This really forces us to redefine what success even means. The greatest success in existence isn't hearing the praise of other people. That's temporary and often wrong anyway. The real greatest success is being safe with Allah on the day your record is opened and finding that He is pleased with what's inside.
And so, that leaves us with what might be the most beautiful goal to strive for: to live a life where who you are in private, where your hidden choices, are even better and more beautiful than the public image you show to the world. That, right there, is the ultimate integrity. That is the best legacy.
Presented and created by Norin Studio.